Before you touch your wallet tomorrow morning, stop for 1 second and ask yourself this. What if the way you approach money has been wrong from the very first moment of the day? Not because you are lazy, not because you are unlucky, but because no one ever taught you how to meet money with intention, with focus, with respect. There is an old ritual built around salt, water, light, and the first quiet minutes after waking. Most people would laugh at it. Then they wonder why stress follows them, why every paycheck disappears, why relief never stays for long. This is not about tricks. It is not about fantasy. It is about a pattern, a practice, a way of training your mind, your emotions, and your actions so that money stops feeling like an enemy and starts becoming something you can direct. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I am going to walk you through a powerful morning method, the meaning behind every step, and the exact way to do it so it feels real, grounded, and unforgettable. And do not skip ahead. One small detail changes the whole feeling of the ritual. For most of my life, I studied old spiritual teachings about livelihood, discipline, gratitude, and the invisible connection between inner order and outer results. I was taught that money is never just paper, numbers, or coins. Money carries emotion. It carries memory. It carries fear when you chase it in panic. And it carries calm strength when you meet it with clarity. That lesson changed me. Not in one dramatic moment, but through daily practice, through repetition, through watching how the smallest acts shape the biggest outcomes. What I am sharing with you is not meant to replace work, planning, or common sense. It is meant to sharpen them. It is a ritual that turns your first contact with money into a message to your own mind that lack does not lead the day, a message to your habits that waste will not lead the day, a message to your spirit that you are ready to receive, ready to act, and ready to protect what enters your life. Listen closely here, because this matters. The power is not in doing something strange. The power is in doing something intentional, in the same way, again and again, until your whole relationship with begins to from fear to steadiness. I first learned this as a young man, only a few days after a sacred season of reflection and fasting. I was called into a quiet room filled with old books, soft shadows, and that stillness you only feel in places where wisdom has been carried for generations. The person teaching me looked at me for a long time before speaking, and then said something so simple that it took me years to fully understand it. We do not live by running after money like frightened people. We learn to become the kind of people who can hold it, guide it, and use it well. At first, I thought that sounded poetic, maybe even beautiful, but not practical. I thought money was simple. You earn it. You spend it. You save some if you can. End of story. But then I was shown passage after passage from old teachings that treated livelihood as something deeper, something shaped by discipline, blessing, attention, and the condition of the heart. These teachings had survived war, exile, poverty, rebuilding, and loss. They were not fragile ideas. They were tested in real life. And I was told two things. Practice this every day you can, and when the time comes, pass it on clearly, not carelessly. So listen carefully now. What sounds small at first can become huge when it enters your routine. The first time I used this method with full focus, I was 23 and completely broke. I mean, truly broke. The kind of broke where every small expense feels like an alarm bell. I had tried everything people usually suggest. I sent out applications. I chased opportunities. I pushed myself into projects that went nowhere. I asked others for help and hated the feeling of needing it. Nothing seemed to open. Then one morning I remembered the teaching exactly as it had been given to me. I got the salt. I prepared the water. I woke before sunrise. I followed each step without rushing and without changing it to fit my mood. Within 2 days, something shifted. An old payment I had forgotten about arrived unexpectedly. A few days later, a person I barely knew reached out with an offer connected to my skills. Was that magic? Maybe not in the way people use that word, but it felt like a door had opened, and I was finally able to see it because my fear was quieter and my attention was sharper. That is the part many people miss. Sometimes the ritual changes what comes to you. Sometimes it changes what you notice, what you answer, what you dare to accept. Either way, movement begins. And once movement begins, life can change fast, very fast. So if you are still here, stay locked in, because now we move into the heart of it. I know what money pressure feels like in the body. It is heavy before breakfast. It is loud in a silent room. It follows you to work, into your sleep, into every conversation about the future. You keep thinking maybe one more push will fix it. Maybe one more extra shift. Maybe one more side plan. Maybe one more month of surviving carefully. And yes, effort matters. Skill matters. Decisions matter. But many people work hard while carrying chaos inside them. They touch money with guilt, with resentment, with panic, with secret shame. Then they wonder why every gain leaks away. Old teachings say livelihood begins beyond the visible surface. Modern language might call this mindset nervous system patterning, emotional conditioning, and attention. Use whatever words you want. The truth is the same. If your inner world is trained for loss, your outer habits often follow. If your first thoughts about money are fear and scarcity, your choices become tight, reactive, and scattered. This ritual interrupts that pattern. It uses physical actions to create a mental and spiritual reset. Salt for cleansing and preserving, water for flow, sunrise for renewal, hands for action, wallet for contact, words for direction, and repetition for power. Do not miss that last part. Repetition is where weak hope turns into disciplined belief, and disciplined belief starts to change behavior in ways that finally produce results. Now let me give you the method in a way that is simple, clear, and easy to follow. Do not overcomplicate it. Do not try to improve it on the first try. Tonight, place about 1 tablespoon of coarse sea salt into a small glass or ceramic bowl, not regular table salt if you can avoid it. Sea salt is preferred because it feels raw, natural, less processed, more alive. As you place it in the bowl, take 1 moment and say, quietly or aloud, that this salt stands for cleansing, protection, and the removal of lack. Then leave it there overnight in a safe place. When you wake up, do it before food, before scrolling, before noise enters your day. Water's fine, but keep the moment clean. Wash your hands 3 times, alternating left and right, then dry them fully. If you can, face the direction of the sunrise or stand near a window where morning light will come in. Take a few deep breaths. Slow down. Let your shoulders drop. Let yesterday leave your chest. This part matters more than people think. If you are rushing, angry, bitter, or distracted, pause until you can settle. A ritual done in chaos often feeds chaos. A ritual done in focus becomes a container. Once you feel steady, take the bowl in both hands and hold it at heart level. This is the point where the day begins to change. With the bowl in your hands, think clearly about what you are asking for. Not a random fantasy, not a desperate blur. Be direct. Maybe you want stable income, maybe freedom from constant stress. Maybe the wisdom to manage what you already receive. Maybe the courage to take the right opportunity when it appears. Hold that intention. Then slowly pour in about half a cup of clean water, preferably filtered or spring water if available. Pour with care. As the water meets the salt, say words like these in simple English. As this water and salt come together, let peace and abundance come together in my life. As this mixture cleanses, let fear and lack leave me. As the light rises, let my chances rise too. You do not need fancy language. You need sincerity. Then stir the mixture clockwise 7 times with your right index finger, slowly, not like you are mixing a drink, like you are sealing a promise. While you stir, picture your bills paid on time. Picture yourself opening messages without dread. Picture money arriving through honest work, wise choices, and doors you are finally ready to walk through. Picture yourself becoming calm with money, not obsessed with it, not ruled by it. That image is important. This is not just about getting more. It is about becoming someone who can keep, direct, and multiply what comes. Stay with this moment. Do not rush it. This is where intention becomes action. Next, place both hands into the salt water and leave them there for at least 30 seconds. Feel the coolness. Feel the weight of the moment. Think about what your hands do every day. They earn, they sign, they give, they receive, they build, they repair, they spend, they hold. Then lift your hands out, but do not dry them completely. Let a little of that moisture remain. Take your wallet, or the item that most directly represents the money you handle in daily life, and hold it gently between your palms. If you mainly pay digitally, still use a physical wallet and place at least 1 bill inside. Physical contact matters. While holding it, say something like this: "This is a vessel for steady provision. This carries honest money, wise money, protected money. I welcome income. I keep what is useful. I release waste. I act with clarity." Say it with quiet conviction, not drama. Then place the wallet where the first morning light can touch it. A windowsill is enough. Direct sunrise is ideal, but soft morning light works too. Leave it there for about 10 minutes. As the light touches it, take the remaining water and pour it into the earth if possible, or down a drain with gratitude. And yes, gratitude matters, not fake gratitude. Real gratitude for breath, for another day, for the chance to start differently, for the ability to change. After that, go on with your day, but go on differently. This is where many people break the flow. They do the ritual and then instantly jump back into old panic. Do not do that. Keep your speech clean for the next few hours. Avoid saying, "I am doomed, I am always broke, nothing works for me." Those words pull against what you just set in motion. Instead, watch carefully. In the first day, you may notice something subtle, a lighter feeling, less dread, a little more confidence when checking your accounts, answering emails, or speaking about work. In the next few days, stay alert to ordinary openings. A delayed payment may appear. A person may mention an opportunity. A forgotten refund may return. A conversation you almost ignored may become useful. Here is the key. Do not sit back and wait for the sky to open. Meet the ritual halfway. Answer the phone. Check the message. Follow up. Send the email. Revisit the idea you buried because fear talked you out of it. Sometimes people call these things coincidences. Maybe they are, but a life can change through a chain of well-timed coincidences, especially when your mind is finally trained to see them. That is why this practice works best when it is not treated like a superstition, but like a reset that sharpens awareness and steadies action. There are also warnings, and you should take them seriously. Do not do this while feeding hatred, jealousy, revenge, or the wish to see someone else fall. A heart full of poison makes every prayer heavy. If you are angry, admit it first. If you are bitter, breathe through it first. If someone hurt you, do not pretend you are fine. But do not bring that fire into this ritual. Clear what you can before you begin. Also, Do not run to mockers right after doing it. Do not perform something meaningful and then hand it to people who only want to laugh at it. Protect the quiet of the practice for a few days. Let it settle inside you. Another important point: do not treat this like a one-time stunt. The old rhythm is consistency. Once a week is good. The same morning each week is even better. 40 days of steady practice can create a real shift, because repetition teaches the body and the mind that you are serious. And add practical action to it. Cut one useless expense. Track one leak. Save one small amount. Finish one overdue task. Apply to one real opportunity. Ask for one fair rate. Respect the money you already have, even if it feels too small to matter, because the person who disrespects little amounts often mishandles big ones too. This part is huge. Ritual without action becomes fantasy. Action without inner change becomes exhaustion. Together, they become power. There is something deeper here that takes time to understand. Before money arrives in visible form, it often exists as possibility, timing, connection, permission, courage, skill, or attention. People think they are waiting only for cash, but sometimes what they truly need first is the removal of inner static. They need to stop shrinking in the presence of opportunity. They need to stop speaking like defeat is their identity. They need to stop making fearful choices that keep proving the same old story. This ritual with salt and water may look simple, but simple does not mean weak. The strongest daily practices are often the ones that seem almost too small to matter. That is why people skip them. They want something loud, complex, dramatic. Yet life is usually changed by what is repeated in private: a quiet bowl, a clean intention, morning light, a hand on a wallet, a few true words, then one better choice, then another, then another. Over time, your relationship with money stops being only survival. It becomes stewardship. It becomes awareness. It becomes discipline. It becomes peace. And peace is not a small thing. A calm mind handles income better. A clear mind spots value faster. A steady person negotiates better, saves better, plans better, and wastes less emotional energy on fear. If you understand that, then you understand why this practice can reach far beyond the few minutes it takes to perform. I learned that lesson again later in life, in a way that humbled me. There was a season when I became too busy helping others and slowly neglected my own practice. I told myself I already knew enough. I told myself the ritual was for people still trying to find their footing. I stopped doing it regularly. Nothing collapsed overnight. That is how drift works. It's quiet at first. But over time, I noticed more strain, thinner margins, more tension around money, more pressure where there used to be calm. The change was not dramatic enough to scare me quickly, but it was real enough to wear me down. Then one morning, I returned to the ritual with full humility: bowl, salt, water, breath, light, words, gratitude, and not just once, repeatedly, week after week. Alongside that, I tightened my habits again. I reviewed spending. I followed through faster. I asked harder questions. I stopped pretending stress was wisdom. And yes, things improved. Not because the universe owed me a reward, but because I had returned to alignment, both inwardly and outwardly. That experience taught me something I will never forget. Knowing is not doing. Admiring wisdom is not practicing wisdom. And hearing a ritual explained means nothing until your own hands enter the water. So if this speaks to you, do not just enjoy the idea. Try it. Test it with sincerity. Give it rhythm. Let it shape the way you begin. Over the years, I have watched people from every kind of background use this kind of practice to create real change. A worker tired of living from one paycheck to the next started using it weekly, and alongside tighter habits and calmer choices, he eventually built the courage to open a small business. A single parent buried under stress used the ritual as a way to regain regain emotional control each morning. And that control helped her make better money decisions, pursue training, and finally break a pattern that had followed her family for years. A professional who looked successful on the outside but carried constant money fear on the inside used this practice to quiet that hidden panic. And with that calm came better decisions, better boundaries, and real peace. The pattern was always the same. The people who benefited did not laugh at the simplicity. They respected it. They followed the steps. They stayed consistent. They paired the ritual with clean action. They did not wait for rescue. They became available to change. So here is what I want to leave with you. Tomorrow morning can begin like every other morning, rushed and heavy and full of the same old thoughts. Or it can begin with a new signal: clean hands, salt, water, light, intention, a wallet touched with purpose instead of fear. If you do it seriously. If you repeat it faithfully. And if you feel even the smallest shift, protect it, build on it, because sometimes a new financial life does not start with a huge opportunity. Sometimes it starts with one quiet morning when you finally decide that lack will not speak first anymore.